Hello! Welcome to a very special predictions video for 2025, as well as recapping my 2024 predictions here on Levels Plus Whenever. We're not putting an episode number on this one, the awards video coming on the 28th, or the Dual Life Perspective coming on the 31st, because I feel like these are so just set in their ways that I don't feel like they're episodic, so to speak. So yeah, this will be for the first time separated as its own video. It's been with Dual Life Perspective for a while, but that video is already like 50 minutes long. I don't think we need to continue doing hour-plus long videos when I could separate stuff out. So let's look over what I thought of last year's predictions, and we'll get into what I think might happen this year. Alright, I've got my notes from last year. I rewatched the video just to be super thorough. Let's see how I did. Switch 2 announcement, but not till 2025. That wasn't entirely wrong. I think I'll give myself partial credit on that one. There was a Switch 2 announcement, more of it will be revealed in the fiscal year, so before March 31st. But they didn't tell us the name, they didn't tell us what it looks like, they didn't tell us any games for it. All we really know is that Nintendo Switch Online is carrying over and backwards compatibility is going to be a feature. Metroid Prime 4 was shown. Yes, it was. It's now Beyond, and it's a Switch game still. We'll see if it becomes a cross-gen title. But it turned out really, really well in terms of the reveal, and I was really hype about it. New Advance Wars did not happen. WayForward got into Contra, Operation Galuga, Clock Tower Rewind, and I want to say something else that I'm just not remembering. New Fire Emblem Remake and Remastered did not happen. In fact, the franchise, outside of toys and celebrating the Three Houses anniversary, didn't do a whole lot. We'll see if that changes. Zelda Wind Waker Twilight Princess did not happen. I'm still baffled as to why. NSO gets a new console, namely the TurboGrafx 16. No, but we did get the mature N64 app. Xenoblade X Remaster, that did happen. We have a definitive edition coming in March next year. Super Mario Party DLC out of nowhere. That actually became Super Mario Party Jamboree. A brand new game, not DLC. But I framed this in the video as some old game out of nowhere gets DLC, and Nintendo Switch Sports was the title that actually got the DLC out of nowhere. For Capcom, I had Capcom vs. SNK compilation, which, hey, that did kind of happen. We have Capcom Fighting Collection 2 getting Capcom vs. SNK Pro and 2 as part of its 8 games, and then SNK released SNK vs. Capcom Chaos on their own. So it kind of happened. It happened, I think, as it only could have. I think when I mentioned it that I wanted Capcom and SNK to collaborate and put all of their efforts into a singular comp, but I will take this. A Resident Evil 5 remake announced, while I want Code Veronica. That did not happen. We got a teaser that they're working on the next game, but we don't know if it's a remake or if it's a new one. I would suspect that after 4 remake, we're going to get a new one first. Capcom Console Stadium did not happen. Konami re-releases the DS Castlevanias with the Adventure Rebirth. Well, I was 80% right. They released the DS Castlevanias as Dominica's collection. Yay! But they've made a brand new Haunted Castle remake. Okay. M2, you're wild. Skies of Arcadia HD did not happen. I had a lot of hope with all of the Sega initiatives, but we'll get into that later. Taito Arcade Memories 3 would be announced. It was. I already have it. Shadow of the Ninja is going to be amazingly good. I think that Shadow of the Ninja Reborn is the most questionable of the four, based on other people's responses to the game. I haven't had a chance to play it because Strictly Limited Games has decided that they don't want to ship games anymore. They just want to take your money. I will eventually ask for a refund if I don't get it in the next couple months, because I'm getting a little impatient. Chrono Trigger, consoles, cowards. They're still cowards. I'll just leave it at that. Ogre Battle Reborn. That didn't happen. In fact, Square Enix is like pulling away from that type of thing. Fighters past guesses. For Street Fighter 6, I had Makoto, Elena, Crimson Viper, and Zaki from Rival Schools. Elena's coming though, so I got 1 out of 4. That's not bad. King of Fighters 15 didn't get a Season 3. They got a bonus, a Vice and Mature release this month, after a year of silence, more or less. So we're not getting any of the characters I thought would be nice. And for Guilty Gear Strive, we got Slayer at the end of Season 3. And Season 4 did not have Jam, so got half of those right. Alright, that's the recap. Let me ponder the depths of my brain and write down some predictions for 2025 to go over with you. Alright, let's get into it. Nintendo is in a weird position where they're about to release a new system, so it's kind of like everything's a possibility. But I feel like the Switch 2, or whatever it ultimately ends up being, will be revealed in late January and will have an early summer release with Mario Kart, Splatoon 4, Xenoblade 4, Fire Emblem, and a Mii revival game, Tomodachi Life, a Miitopia sequel, some sports thing, within the launch window, which is like 3 to 6 months. The original Switch had a banger of a launch lineup in its first year. I suspect that we're going to see a similar outcome with the Switch 2. I think that Mario and Zelda will be within the first year, with Metroid Prime 4 being cross-platform when it releases, along with Pokemon Legends ZA. I think that there will be some sort of Smash Ultimate Deluxe with all the DLC included, with a couple new fighters as a tease for the next Smash game that will be a new perspective on the series. That'll come later. And I think Animal Crossing, Mario sports game, and an F-Zero something will be within year 2's time frame. I don't want to get too much wilder than that, but I feel like the big franchises are going to be coming fast and furious, and we're going to get a couple surprises along the way. I think F-Zero 99 did quite well, especially initially. And at the very least, maybe we'll get GX remastered or something. For Capcom, I think we might see the earliest of gameplay of Okami's sequel by the end of the year. I don't think we're going to see an extensive look at it because they literally are just starting. But we might get a little bit of proof of concept or something. I think we'll see a Mega Man Legends compilation, since Capcom's starting to dig deeper into their IP, and we've gotten most everything else Mega Man compiled already. Those 3 games would be great to see. And I had Capcom Console Stadium last year. I think, following all the revelations of Capcom Fighting Collection going Naomi, that they're working on some 3D compilation stuff of their arcade output. So we're going to see an Arcade Stadium 3D that expands into their 3D arcade output. Taito. Having got Taito Memories 3, the back of the Taito station doesn't say to be continued. Take off to a new scene is what it says now. So that makes me think that they're going to do something distinctly different, and that the Egret 2 Mini might be ending, possibly. It's hard to say. Maybe they're going to move into 3D games for something. They do have some 3D arcade games that they could do. Maybe they're going to look into a console thing. Because they've got so many interesting console releases that they haven't got into at all. So it will be interesting to see what Taito comes up with this year. Skies of Arcadia HD. I'm going to beat that dead horse until it actually happens. So, as I was going on earlier, I'm really baffled as to what's going on with the lack of a Chrono Trigger console release. And I think I'm figuring it out. I think that they want to remake it. I think that they're going to give it the 2D HD or whatever they call their fancy technology. They're going to do that because it looks pretty good with Dragon Quest, and Toriyama does both. Or did both, I guess I should say. He died last year. I forget sometimes because of his just legacy is so overpowering sometimes. But I think that's what's going on, is that they're having Mitsuda redo songs, remastering the soundtrack, maybe even pulled in Uematsu to redo his songs, since he's no longer doing full soundtracks. I put this is my crapshoot of the year. Guess. The last story in Lost Odyssey get re-released somehow. Mistwalker doesn't really want to be involved, but I kind of get the feeling that they wouldn't hesitate if someone paid them money to re-release those games themselves. They just sign the licensing agreement, get paid, and hand off all the work to somebody else. I could see them doing that. We'll see if that actually comes true or not. But it would be interesting, and that truly is the out there idea that I have for a prediction this year. But we've had some really out there predictions come true, or things I didn't even think could be predicted, like Marvel vs. Capcom being revived. So I feel like it's possible. Sunsoft is going to revive another classic IP of theirs, and I think that what they're going to do following Euphoria and Gimmick, which Gimmick was a bad idea, but they went with it anyway, I think they're going to revive Wing of Medulla next. And they're going to give it a really slick anime look, and I probably won't like the character design. But I just get a feeling that they could bring that game up to modern standards really effectively, based on their work on Euphoria 2. Konami's going to bring the 3D Vanias together. And what do I mean by the 3D Vanias? I mean 64, Legacy of Darkness, and the two PS2 ones, Curse of Darkness and Lament of Innocence. The one I couldn't remember. The one with Leon. Bring those technically 4 games together. And then they could just throw the Rondo of Blood remake as a bonus if they really wanted to. What they will ultimately do, though, is instead of doing that, they'll give us Order of Shadows for the mobile. Because they refuse to release Symphony of the Night or Rondo of Blood on other platforms that aren't called the PlayStation. City of the Wolves is going to be out in April. So my final predictions are going to be DLC characters for City of the Wolves and Street Fighter 6. So City of the Wolves, we know most of the roster. They just announced Gato like a week ago. Actually, it was like 2 days ago. It was not that long ago. So the full roster's not revealed yet. We do know that it's a 5-character DLC for Season 1, and that Ken and Chun-Li from Street Fighter are on that roster. But I think the other 3 are going to be SNK characters that are not from Mark of the Wolves. They're going to be from franchises at large. So I just went with Fatal Fury characters to play it safe. Blue Mary, Yamazaki, and Duck King will be joining City of the Wolves. Because I suspect that Andy and Joe might make it onto the main roster. Geese could probably make it onto the main roster and just be a boss character or something. We have the little ninja kid, but I don't think anyone really wants him. And Freeman is the only other Mark of the Wolves character beyond Donghuan's brother that's still not there. I think those two have a good chance of making it in, but we don't have too many more slots left, so I just went with save characters. I'd be happy with any of them making it into that season pass. Street Fighter 6 Season 6. Well, they added Terry and Mai from Fatal Fury to just completely throw me off. I don't really know what that translates to into future seasons. Will that mean that there will always be 2 guest characters? Or will they have a regular Season 3 where they bring in all Street Fighter characters? Will they bring in another bunch of SNK characters? I don't know. So what I've got 3 Street Fighter characters that I feel have a pretty good chance. 2 of them are from last year, one's brand new. And then I'm going to throw out a couple SNK characters and a couple other characters that I think could possibly make the jump. So for Street Fighter, I still want Makoto and Crimson Viper. I think they both deserve a spot on Street Fighter 6. And I think G is my now new choice. I'm not going to put Zaki back in. But I do think that G would be a great addition. He was the best Street Fighter V original character as far as I'm concerned. So I think that that's a pretty good lineup of Street Fighter characters that I would love to see. But who would we get from other fighting franchises if they decide to go the guest route? So if we go into SNK again and we do KOF, for example, because I don't think we do Fatal Fury again, it would be Kyo, poor Kyo, who has been completely overshadowed by Terry as of late. And out of all of the women that have appeared in King of Fighters unique to that franchise, so that eliminates Yuri and King from Art of Fighters, Blue Mary from Fatal Fury, I think it'd be Leona. I think Leona has the highest chances, or Athena. It would be Kyo or Iori, Leona or Athena. Those are my choices if they went King of Fighters. But I have a stronger feeling they're going to go Tekken. I think they're going to cross over with Tekken again. And I think it would probably be Jin and Nina, because I think those two have the chops, so to speak. But they may go rogue, and they may do something like Jin and Reina, because Reina is like the new fresh face of Tekken right now. We will see. They probably wouldn't do anything with Marble. That would be astonishing if they did, and Tatsunoko is way off the table. And that's all of the fighting stuff that they've crossed over with. But they could maybe reach out to Arc System Works and do something with Guilty Gear. So that would probably be like Soul and Mila, unless they wanted to do a fresher face for than that, and they would do like trying to remember names. It's been a little while since I played it. Like Happy Chaos, which I'm sure would just make everybody thrilled. And like the new gal that's coming in season 4, that I forget her name. But I don't know. We'll have to see what Street Fighter Season 3 looks like. But like a lot of my dreams were accomplished in 2024. Neva came out, so I had a new Nomada Studio game. The DS Castlevania's happened. Capcom vs. SNK's happening. Marvel came back with Capcom. Another Code came back. out of nowhere. So we'll cut it there. Thank you for joining me for these predictions. We'll see how many of them come true in the end next year. And happy holidays again for those who celebrate today. I'll see you over the weekend for the awards that I do 2024. Take care.